And we will go ahead and continue with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Your first question is from Eric Hansen.
Hi, Jeremiah. You know, Tutu Atwell and Javian Hawkins are two of the most explosive offensive players in the ACC. How were you guys able to hold their games down tonight?
The first thing you do with the both of them is make sure you understand their tendencies. Tendencies is a huge thing when you're talking about defending great players. So with those two in particular, we know that they like to run long. We know that they like to go on jets. So that was one thing that we really tried to key in on when defending those two.
And we'll go next to Tyler James.
Jeremiah, how does the intensity level change for the defense in a low-scoring game like this when you know you can't really make many mistakes?
We just try to stay as consistent as possible, making sure that you keep the energy up on the sidelines, making sure that you're rooting the offense on, and making sure that everybody's on one accord. So when you're talking about playing a slow-paced game, you want to make sure that everything stays consistent, everything stays the same, and just continue to play it to our best of our abilities. So.
We'll go next to Nathan Atkins.
Jeremiah, how are you feeling physically? 4 games into the season, it looked like against Florida State you started wearing shoulder brace or shoulder cups. So how are you doing?
I'm doing well physically. That's the name of the game is pain. So you want to make sure that you take the Sundays and you take the week to rehab and make sure everything's 100% for the next game. So you just take precautions and just make sure that you can go back out the next game and play to the best that you can. So.
And as a reminder, please use the raise hand function if you do have a question. We'll go ahead and go to Pete Sampson.
Hey, Jeremiah, Dalen talked about sort of simplifying the defense this week. What's an example of that? What's something that you guys sort of cleaned up by making it simpler today that, maybe wasn't as sharp last week?
Just cutting down the amount of calls that we have, just making it easy for everybody to understand, to be able to go out and play really fast. That was really what we keyed in on this week is playing fast and playing physical. So when you take out some of the calls and you take out a lot of the checks and things like that, you start to get more comfortable in the defense. So that was one thing that we keyed in on, just making sure that we understood what was at hand, because Louisville does not play a lot of different offenses. So you want to make sure that you cut down the defensive calls when defending Louisville. So.
And we will circle back to Nathan Atkins.
Jeremiah, on Dalen's big play, he said he was doing his best Woo impersonation there. Out of 10, what would you give him?
Man, 11. That's my boy. Yeah, it's a good play. Good play made by Dalen Hayes. So.
And we'll go next to Tyler James.
Jeremiah, what did Louisville do differently on that first drive of the second half to kind of move the ball on you guys?
Say one more time. Excuse me.
What did Louisville do differently on that first drive of the second half to move the ball down the field and score on you guys?
Just mix things up. They were running a bunch of squeeze in the first half, and we kind of got used to defending what they were throwing at us, and just really spaced us out a little bit in the second half and making sure that we stayed on our toes. So that was one thing they did in particular. So.